Most people think the Civil War was fought on land and at sea. But what if I told you it was also fought in the air? Long before airplanes, helicopters, satellites, or drones, Union and Confederate commanders were already competing for control of the skies. And it all started with giant balloons. The story begins with Thaddeus Constantine Lowe, a scientist, inventor, and ballooning enthusiast. In the months before the Civil War, Lowe had dreamed of crossing the Atlantic Ocean by balloon. Instead, he found himself proposing something even more revolutionary. He believed balloons could give armies something military commanders had never truly possessed, the ability to see beyond the horizon. To prove his idea, Lowe demonstrated a balloon ascent in front of President Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was impressed. Soon afterward, Lowe received authorization to organize what became the Union Army Balloon Corps. For the first time in American military history, military reconnaissance was moving into the third dimension. The Balloon Corps operated several large tethered balloons that could rise hundreds of feet above the battlefield. Observers carried binoculars, maps, and notebooks into the sky. From these elevated positions, they could identify Confederate troop concentrations, artillery positions, defensive earthworks, and movement along roads that were invisible from the ground. Even more remarkable, many balloons were connected to telegraph lines. This meant observers could send intelligence reports directly to commanders below in real time. Think about that. In 1862, the Union Army had effectively created an aerial surveillance network linked to battlefield communications. Decades before powered flight, decades before military aircraft, decades before drones. The Confederates quickly realized the danger. Balloons allowed Union commanders to observe positions that had once been hidden. Southern troops responded by firing rifles and artillery at the balloons whenever they appeared. These attacks represented some of the earliest anti-aircraft fire in American military history. The Confederacy even attempted to build its own balloons. One famous Confederate balloon was reportedly constructed using silk donated from dresses contributed by Southern women. Despite these efforts, Confederate balloon operations never matched the resources available to the Union. By 1863, most Confederate aerial operations had faded away. The Civil War's balloons did not win the war. They were cumbersome, weather often limited their effectiveness, and military leaders frequently disagreed about their value. Yet their importance cannot be overstated. The Balloon Corps introduced the idea that information gathered from above could shape events on the ground. Modern reconnaissance aircraft, spy satellites, surveillance drones, all trace part of their military lineage back to these Civil War aeronauts. In many ways, the Civil War's balloons marked the beginning of multi-dimensional warfare. I'm Michael Stroud, and this is HMS, History with Michael Stroud. If you enjoyed this story, click the like button. It really helps the channel grow and helps more people discover military history. Be sure to subscribe for more military history, battlefield research, and forgotten stories from the past. And remember, history matters because people matter. I'll see you next time.